In 1991, a young man, Kevin McGowan, was killed by his fiancée right before their wedding. The woman was sentenced to 40 years in prison for the murder, and in the last few days of Governor Christie's term, he commuted her sentence. Now, she had served 25 years, but interestingly enough, family found out that the killer was released on social media. And what adds even more complexity and disappointment to this story, the former prosecutor involved in the case said that he had proved beyond any doubt that this woman who killed her fiancé was not battered, was not beaten, was not a victim of domestic violence. We've got his brother, Frank McGowan, joins me now on Chasing News. Frank, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
So let me ask you this. Your brother was murdered. It's hard to wrap my head around what your family went through then. So let's talk about what did you go through now? You hear that your brother's killer out.
We're reliving the murder all over again. You know, it was a shock back then, and it's even a bigger shock now that she's been released and that we had no input into her commuted sentence.
How did you find out? Somebody
I
posted
found
something
out
on
at my
Facebook?
65th birthday party.
Okay.
My son got a text from my nephew who found out about it on social media, and my son waited till the end of the party to tell me. And that's how we found out. Bring me back to 1991. You know, this is somebody that you knew. This is a fiance. Did you have any expectation? And all, like, walk me through. What happened? I didn't know her. What happened is my brother had split up with his girlfriend of 7 years, Mabel. And Mabel had gone back to Washington State. I didn't know he was dating Lisa. My mother told me that she had met her once and she wasn't crazy about her. And that's really all we knew about her.
Did you ever for a minute think that your brother had done something to bring this on?
No, not at all. In fact, his girlfriend came back, his former girlfriend came back from Washington State and testified. But the prosecution said in all the years that she was with him that he never laid a hand on her. He was married before and his ex-wife was living in Arizona. I called her and told her what happened. She said if they need me, I'll come to the trial and testify.
Do you know where she is now?
First, we were told she was down in Little Lake Harbor.
Okay.
We spoke to the prosecutor's office, and they think she's in Florida now with her father. So law enforcement doesn't even know where she is
Law
right
enforcement
now.
doesn't know,
No.
your family doesn't
No,
know.
we don't know where she is.
What would you say to Governor Christie right now if you could talk to him?
What were you thinking? You turned her down twice, and then in the last 4 days of your term, you decided to give her executive clemency, and we don't know why he granted her executive clemency, and he doesn't have to give us an explanation apparently.
Let's bring back our panelists, our A-plus panelists here, Frank Luna and Lisa Durden. Lisa, I'm going to start with you. Just emotionally speaking, it's jarring to have your family member's murderer out and you don't even know about it.
One of my biggest concerns is there is no transparency. The governor felt like, I know that the governor doesn't have to disclose, but the governor should want to disclose why he's pardoning this murderer. And listen, I am a severe feminist. If she was beaten and had battered women's syndrome and it was proven, I would say hooray for her. But they disproved it. She was supposed to serve 30 years of her 40 years before they considered her to be paroled. I would have liked to have seen her serve the other 6 years to get to the 30 years and let the parole board decide.
Frank, did it surprise you that, I mean, a very conservative guy, Jerry Cardinale, state senator, got behind this? There's a lot of unanswered questions here. It doesn't add up.
Mm-hmm. It does surprise me, and just talking with Frank and his wife beforehand, you know, and the empathy I have for you guys, and it's just been such a difficult thing for their family to have to go through. And it seems like there are some things, regardless of whether she deserved the clemency or not, some things that in the immediate aftermath could have been done to make this situation easier for the families and the victims.
Frank, at the very least, have law enforcement be informed so you could have had a formal notification before she got out. Yeah. Now, what are you doing now? I understand, look, you can't do anything about what's happened. She's out. That's it. The governor has that power. That said, what is happening now to prevent this from happening again?
We were in touch with a lawyer, Richard Pompelio. He runs a crime victims center, and he's drafting legislation now.
So you'll be active in fighting this to prevent other families from going through this.
Right, so it doesn't happen to other people.
Okay.
You know,
Frank, thank you. Took a lot of courage to have this conversation. I appreciate you being here. Frank, it was good to see you. Lisa, thanks, guys.